Hi, my name's Daryl, and here's your Toyota news for April 3rd. So in the first news story, of course, we got to talk about tariffs. So President Trump yesterday announced the tariffs that were going to go into effect today. So we all kind of knew Trump had announced that this was a big surprise to a lot of the folks in the auto manufacturing business, that it was going to be an across-the-board 25% tariffs for any automobiles that are imported into the United States, as well as automobile parts. And so even if automobile is made here, if parts come from outside of the United States, that part is going to be subject to a 25% tariff. There's still some not quite, need some clarity on what parts they're talking about. I know auto manufacturers are trying to, I guess, talk to the administration or lobby the administration to exempt like smaller parts and basically make it only for large parts like engines and transmissions. We'll see how that goes. But, you know, the net impact of that is likely going to be higher prices. Now, one of the things that Toyota said, and this was a couple days ago, so they said regardless of the tariffs that are announced and what's going into effect, which is today, that they're not going to change their operations and they're not going to raise prices. So super news for Toyota, but I believe them as a manufacturer, but are the dealers going to follow suit? Now, perhaps Toyota is going to kind of, you know, put a little stranglehold on the dealers to make sure that they don't have markups. But, you know, I've done a whole bunch of videos on the Toyota RAV4 Prime and how to get a RAV4 Prime for MSRP, because so many dealers, they were in so much demand and there were so many markups. And I mean, it's hard to believe that given how difficult it is to get hybrids nowadays, that's actually my second story, inventory is going to go down. There's not going to be as many imports coming into the United States to be sold, and there's going to be a lot of slowdowns. There's going to be lots of problems with parts availability. So it's going to be really tough. And if you remember in the COVID years, inventory was so short, prices got jacked up and used car prices got jacked up as well. So even though Toyota says in the short term they aren't going to raise prices, I don't think that's going to affect what dealers do, and even at Toyota dealerships. And so we'll see what happens in regards to that. So there was another story, and it comes from Reuters again. Well, my first story was from Reuters too, saying, dude, where's my car? And it's really about the long wait for hybrid vehicles. So Americans have really kind of moved away from EV vehicles, and now they're into hybrids. And it's actually been great for Toyota, because that has been Toyota's strategy, not to focus on the battery electric vehicles, but focus on hybrids and plug-in hybrids. So, but there is a long wait for hybrid vehicles, especially like on the RAV4 hybrid. So one of the things that you might want to consider in regards to a hybrid vehicle is looking outside of Toyota. So for instance, I think the RAV4 hybrid is probably one of the most popular hybrids that Toyota sells. There's a big waiting list for RAV4 hybrids. But did you know that the Mazda CX-50 has the same powertrain as the RAV4 hybrid? So maybe, you know, stylistically you might not like it as well. You know, but I think it's okay. And, you know, you're going to get the same gas mileage and you're going to get the same, you know, kind of reliability that you get with a Toyota RAV4 hybrid. So, yeah, so I saw this on Kirk Criffles. He was talking about the shortage of hybrids, and he talked about the Mazda CX-50 being the same powertrain. And so I did a little Google search, and artificial intelligence says, no, the CX-50 is not a RAV4 hybrid, but it shares the same hybrid powertrain as the RAV4 hybrid, meaning it uses the same 2.5 liter four-cylinder engine and the 4th generation hybrid system. Now, supposedly we are getting a new RAV4 this next year. We've been waiting for Toyota to announce it. I don't know if Mazda is going to get the updated version of it, but for sure, still the current RAV4 hybrid is a great car. And so if you are desperately looking for a RAV4 hybrid, consider the CX-50. Mazda makes a great automobile. All right, so in my next news story, let's talk about the Toyota Crown. So the Toyota Crown, the 2026 version, this was actually announced on April 1st. I've been really careful on anything that was announced April 1st because there was a lot of April Fool's Day going around. But this is the brand new Crown for 2026. I don't think anything has changed in regards to the drivetrain of it. So it's still going to have the hybrid max powertrain with the 2.4 liter hybrid with 340 horsepower and 400 pound-feet of torque. So nothing has changed in regards to that. I think they do have some new colors available, as well as some new trims. But so when I saw this article, I can't remember, I was doing some searching on Toyota Crowns, and then I saw this baby right here. So this is kind of the Toyota Crown sedan. It's an attractive vehicle, but yeah, this is like station wagon-esque, this kind of low slung. It's called the Crown Estate, and it's in Japan. And unlike the max hybrid powertrain that comes in the regular Toyota Crown, this one actually has a plug-in hybrid system. So that max hybrid powertrain, it's pretty torquey. But the gas mileage on it hasn't been great. I think it's, somewhere in the range of 25, 26 miles per gallon. Give me this super hot station wagon with a plug-in hybrid drivetrain. I don't know why Japan gets all the good stuff. So look at this thing. This thing looks beautiful, and look at the colors that come with it. And oh, that's a great view of it. And what I really like is look at this spacious, flat cargo floor that you get with this station wagon. So yeah, I don't know why they get all the good stuff. All right, so in my next story, let's talk about, the Toyota hybrids and the gas tanks. Now, I think this is kind of similar in most of the Toyota hybrids. So I've got a RAV4 Prime, and every time I go on a long trip, it always drives me crazy because it always tells me that I'm getting low on gas, and then it tells me I have like 0 range left, and my wife says, oh, go get some gas. And I'm like, we still got plenty of gas. And then she freaks out, got to go to the gas station and fill it up. I think I have like a 15 point something gallon gas tank. I don't know. When I did my testing on this, I knew exactly what the size of the gas tank was when it got on empty. And so then I filled it up, and I only used like 12 point something miles of gas when I filled it up. So I knew I still had like 2 or 3 gallons of gas in the tank. So it just drove me nuts. Well, anyway, Car and Driver had the same situation. A lot of customers were complaining about the Grand Highlander, and they actually had a Grand Highlander in their testing fleet. So they just went for broke. They're like, okay, we're going to continue to drive it. So even when it said 0 miles were left, as far as gas range, they drove it for 60 miles at 80 miles per hour on the freeway. So that's not, that's not gas conservation driving. And then I think at one point they were like, okay, it's getting low. So then they circled the gas station for around 3 miles until it totally went dry in the gas tank, and then it actually switched over to electric mode, and they were able to still continue to drive it to get into the gas station. But yeah, so even when they said they had an empty tank, it still drove for almost 60 miles. So I'm not telling you to do that, but I'm just saying you probably got a lot of more gas than you actually think you do. Toyota basically didn't say, they had no comment in regards to this. They said, we are aware of the field concern and we are investigating the matter on how to address customer concerns. While we wait for a fix, we know we can push aside our fears and keep driving well past the point that it indicates empty. So there you go. So this is Daryl with your Toyota News, and I hope to see you the next one again very soon.